hello, hello. Let me just turn down the music a little bit. Okay, you guys? Okay. I've got a bone to pick with all of you guys. I was watching the VOD back for the, art stream drawing the Cult of the Lamb bishops. And you can't hear my BGM at all. Like, the music just doesn't exist. And I'm like, why didn't they tell me? Why didn't my chat? There was at one point, I'm like, come on music, come back. And cause like, you know, the music ended, I had to like restart it. You couldn't tell at all. Just a whole stream of clicking and me being I thought it was an aesthetic choice. Not here for the BGM, we're here for your ramblings, I guess. But good gravy. It's the fact that it's so clear on my end, you know? So that was the most interesting thing in my week. Except, oh my gosh, okay, here's another one. You're off early today, hooray! So you might remember if you were here last week when we played Jack. I had mentioned that people were supposed to come and inspect the apartment. They're doing it for like a bunch of different apartments. And they're supposed to come and inspect the apartment and maybe take some measurements. And but they never showed up. They never showed up on that day. And good thing you're streaming because I just finished my online interview, which I was nervous for. Well, I hope you did well. I hope you did really well. But yeah, they never showed up. No one ever showed up to inspect the apartment or take any measurements. And I was like, cool, great, awesome. And we just assumed that they just didn't want to do it. Because it was like, it had been really snowy. Like, there was a lot of snow and ice and stuff. But the other day, I went to go get the mail, and I see there's another note on our door, and it's them being like, hey, we're coming actually for reals this time. We're gonna come inspect the apartment and measure things. And I went straight to the office, and to the office lady, and I was like, hey, so is it actually gonna happen this time? Like, for reals, it's really, really gonna happen? And so I guess it took longer than they expected to inspect and measure all the apartments. I call baloney. I call bull honky on that. I think they were just lazy little putzes, and they just didn't wanna work hard, and it's so snowy and icy. I don't wanna. Let's go get Starbucks instead. That's what I think happened. But yeah, so it's actually apparently gonna happen, and here's the really, really fun part. It's either going to happen today or on Friday. So I'm like, great, glad you only want to do this when I'm streaming. Rad. I fully don't expect them to show up today, though, because that's just how these things work, now isn't it? So, because if I need to worry about them showing up all day, I need to be prepared. I can't listen to my music too loud in case they knock on the door. And I need to worry about that all day today. Because it's an 8-hour window that they could show up in. 8 whole fucking hours. But if they show up today, then I won't have to worry about it on Friday. Because they've already showed up. So of course they're not gonna show up today. So then I have to worry about it. And so then I think, well, if they're obviously not gonna show up today, then I just don't need to worry about it. But if I'm not prepared for it, then they will show up. And it'll be at the worst time. It'll be like when I'm like trapped in the bathroom or something. And it's just like, I was wondering if anyone would notice Doug. I was just like, let's put him there. But yeah, so really excited for them to not show up today, and for me to still have to worry about it, and for them to show up at some point while I'm streaming. Definitely. I thought about having him slide in, like, having him, like, selected, and me just, like, really slowly throughout stream, like, kinda just, you know, push him forward. I figured you guys would notice the movement, though. Which one's the real Doug? Which one's the decoy? It's like substitution, like the move in Pokemon. But yeah, I still wanted to stream today because I didn't stream last Wednesday, and I'm like, well, I gots to. I gotta jabberjaw on you guys. I am mondo tired though. It's gonna be kind of a chill stream. It'll probably be a little bit on the shorter side, and it's because I didn't give myself a weekend last week. I've been working for like 13 days straight. I'm so tired. So, and today, I'm not even actually taking today off, but I'm just taking it slightly easier today. But I still have some work to do. However, it's all going to a good place, because I'm constantly doing work. But that means eventually a video will be ready. Does Doug make 101 health substitutions that don't die to seismic toss? 100%. Doug is immune to seismic toss. He's the only, and there's no explanation. It's just seismic toss does not work on Doug. And it's like, okay. But speaking of things that I've made, if y'all didn't see, patrons, there's a Patreon. By the way, there's also the third option. I'm talking about the people inspecting the apartments again. So, I was hoping they'd show up before stream today, just so then I could talk about it. But they haven't. So they might show up after stream, and then I'll talk about it on Friday. Or they'll show up on Friday, and it'll be more stressful and annoying. The fourth option is that they could show up while I'm streaming. And if that does happen, then I will put on, like, rain sounds, and you guys will have to entertain yourselves for, like, 10 minutes. So, I don't know, just be prepared in case that happens. What if it's like the Horcrux from Harry Potter, where you kill one Doug, but surprise, there's another one, and he lives forever? I think Doug, if you snip plant Doug, I think he'd just grow back. You know? Kind of like pruning leaves, but even if you take out the whole head with the teeth, he'll just grow back. Like King Ghidorah. Can we talk about how we like the taste of rain? Rain is pretty swell. It's clean water, isn't it? We all like clean water. We all need to make a prayer circle to make sure they don't show up during stream. Oh, but right, things I've made. So, yeah, patrons have access to, and this is at the $5 and up tier, cause I want all you guys who donate, who give me more money. I want you all to feel like you're spending your money wisely. I want it to feel like it's worth it. But there's a new song, that y'all can listen to. I've remixed together Floss, which is a Vocaloid song, by Our Sound Design, and another Vocaloid song by Deco27. Well, what's that one's name? It's like Delusion Sensation Compensation Federation. So cool. But yeah, I've remixed those together, and I drew some original art for it this time, and it's pretty neato, if you ask me. Can you plant a Doug leaf and grow a second Doug? Yes, but that one is a unique Doug. That is a unique plant. So that's how it's like, if you cut this prime Doug, he always grows back to be Doug. But if you cut off a leaf and plant that, then it grows into a new plant with teeth. whose name is not Doug, but it's probably like Dave or something. When'd you stop watching Ruby and Why? Volume 8, I finished that, and then it took them 7,000 years to make another volume, and also Volume 8 was already bad, and I didn't care anymore. Move out of Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Dougs is here. I bet Dave would have uncomfortable human teeth. That is the most cursed description. I can see it so clearly. Ew. I should incorporate human teeth into creepy designs more often. That's great. Oh, but another thing. I've got so many things. Tomorrow / the next day, there should be a new video, finally. This isn't the big one I've been working on. But it's gonna be another Project Set Guy video. Hooray! Wahoo! So you guys can have a bunch of song recommendations coming at you. Coming at you like Cleopatra. So that'll be fun and exciting. And also I realized tomorrow is Miku Day. So I know like one of you care about Vocaloid, so I'll explain that. Hatsune Miku is represented with the she's 3-9 is like her yeah, coming at you like Cleopatra. 3-9 is kind of Miku's numbers. I can't remember why, but so, and tomorrow is 3-9. It's, you know, that's the date. And so it's Miku Day, unofficially, but kind of officially. So, tomorrow we'll be doing a Vocaloid themed stream as well. Because I was just gonna like play like Wind Waker. But I was like, oh, but it's Miku Day, so we'll be playing a rhythm game tomorrow. Officially, unofficial, exactly. Isn't it the tattoo on her arm? She's got the number 3 on her arm. No, it's the number 1. Hang on, let me Google her. So I'm pretty sure 3-9. It kind of sounds like thank you in Japanese. It's because 3 is san, and 9 is Q. So sankyu, you know. So, that might be where it originates. Let me Google it. So first, let me just Google Miku. Hatsune Miku. Images, so I can see the number on her arm. I'm pretty sure it's the number 1. Hello, welcome. Yeah. So Miku's got 01 on her arm. And now let me Google... why is 3-9 Miku Day? Miku Day. Oh, wait, let me make sure I spell Miku right, though, because otherwise Google won't know what I'm doing. Okay, so yeah, in Japanese, 3 can be pronounced as both Mai and San. 9 can be pronounced as Ku or Q. Therefore, March 9th can be pronounced, for the sake of pronunciation play as Miku and Sankyu. Ah, so it sounds like her name. There you go. Isn't that fun? Isn't that neato? So yeah, tomorrow we'll be playing a rhythm game. Exciting stuff. I like Wednesdays because I missed the I and I typed O instead. I almost put it as Maku. I like Wednesdays because they're kind of my fuck around days. Like on Thursday and Friday are when I'm usually like, let's play video game, you know? Let's do that for a good couple of hours. And but Wednesdays are the days where like it feels like there's no rules. And I've got an idea for actually next Wednesday. That sounds kind of hilarious. Sounds really fun. So, I'm excited to do that next. I thought about this literally like in the hours of the night. Like I woke up from sleeping and I turned over and I had a thought, and so it was ludicrously last minute. So I couldn't like do it today. But next Wednesday I've got a fun little idea. No spoilers though. You'll have to tune in next time to see what my fun idea is. Over here thinking, what if Twiins did a harem drawn out? I bet it's just kind of me designing boys, isn't it? Like, doable, but I'd like if there were a theme. You know? Like, a harem made out of boys representing the 9 planets in our solar system, counting Pluto, because in my heart of hearts, Pluto still gets to count, or something, you know? Twins out of dead silence. I like Wednesdays. Oh, speaking of drawing, though, that's something I wanted to talk about, is what if we get to our $700 kind of secondary goal here, in my help me move out of my bad apartment donation fund. Because if we get to 700, I'd like to reward you all with, you know, some fun, cool content. Howdy, Jordan. Welcome. And Messiah had a suggestion. Let me know what you guys think about this idea. If we get to 700, we design the missing evolutions. So, what types don't have evolutions? Here. Let me Google Pokemon types. I know there's like rock, bug, ground. You guys can help come up with all the good gravy. All the different names. So that's a pretty neato idea. Stop fucking opening the App Store. Jesus fucking Christ. What's wrong, phone? Good gravy. Good. Okay. Alright. Pokemon types. Do you ever think about colors and then you have to Google the color wheel so you can remember, where everything goes on a color wheel? So the missing the missing evolution types are fighting, flying, poison, ground, rock, bug, ghost, steel, dragon. Is that all of them? That's a lot. Oh, and technically normal. Yeah, and normal. Yeah. No, because I'm not an artist. So, yeah, we could do that. That sounds like fun. Unless you guys, I don't know, do you have any other ideas? I think it's a cool idea, but, what do you guys think? And then, of course, I'd like to think of one for, 1000 as well. Messiah had suggested for that one, then designing them all as humans, which ain't a bad plan. Unless, of course, I don't know, I'm always up to suggestions. Fire away. If someone's like, what if Twiins, what if you get to 1000 and you, destroy a planet? And it's like, well, you know what? That's not a terrible idea. At 700, Twiins will do a flip, but she'll just rotate her PNG. I did? Didn't you? Maybe it was Zagreus. It was one of you guys on the Discord. But yeah, I thought about how I could do flips. How I could cartwheel away. Cooking segment with Twiins. That sounds like way too much work. There's no way for me to, like, have the stream set up in the kitchen. Thought about doing a Nuzlocke with Pokemon game of your choice. You nickname the Pokemon after chat if you want. I hate Nuzlocks. I hate doing Nuzlocks. I wouldn't do a Nuzlocke, personally. Cause, I don't know, there's nothing, I already get so annoyed if a Pokemon faints anyway. So, all it does is now great, it's an extra layer of, like, failure. I don't know. And of course, Nuzlocks can be great. We've all seen a good Nuzlocke, where, like, one Pokemon survives and there, like, a real bond happens with that Pokemon and stuff. But also, here's the thing. All the real Nuzlockers, they cheat, of course. But I'm not saying, like, they, you know, boost their Pokemon or anything, but they will play with, like, Game Sharks or emulators or whatever it is to give themselves a shitload of rare candies. Cause that's the interesting part, is, okay, let's dodge all the trainers, avoid all the random encounters, unless if we're catching a Pokemon, and get to the gym leader, and I'll crank up my Pokemon's level to a cap. They'll usually have like a set cap of, okay, so we're gonna go fight Lieutenant Surge. We can only have our Pokemon up to level 23 or whatever it is. Okay, so they'll level up, they'll feed them a shitload of rare candies to do that, and then go fight Surge. And I don't have an emulator or a Game Shark or anything like that. So in order to do that, I would just have to grind, because that's what Nuzlocks are. It's just a bunch of grinding. Grinding, 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 and it's boring. I can deal with every part of the Nuzlocke except the death. I tried one and my starter died. That's when I stopped, and I don't know if I can handle another one. Exactly. Like, I already care so much. I'd much rather do a kind of playthrough like my Magical Girl adventures, where it's just, like, I'm playing with a theme instead. I think that's a lot of fun. Is to be like, okay, so I'm only, you know, I've seen people do, like, Team Rocket runs, where they can only use, like, you know, certain Pokemon or certain types. That's another one. That's one I tried to do once, a gym leader run, where you pick a type, and you have to use Pokemon of that type, which is really fun in concept, but really difficult if you're playing on, Diamond version, way back on the DS, and you decide to go with Poison, and there's no Poison Pokemon available, and, oh, look at, get out of here with your... Don't click on it, guys. They're a bot. And I don't think there's anybody here to help me kill it. Will Twiins have to actually get rid of a bot on her own? Uh-oh. I'm not smart enough. Ban. There we go. I did it! Oh my gosh! Wow! There's a first time for everything. But now I don't know how to get their info off my screen. Oh shit, buckets. Hang on. Go away! It's fine, it's fine. I'll figure that out in the background while I continue talking about Pokemon. Oh yeah, that was, it's one I did. What? There it is. Jesus. Okay. Yeah! I was gonna do a Poison team run, and there was, like, no Poison Pokemon available for me to catch. I, like, traded over a Grimer as my starter, and it almost immediately became too high of a level, and so it couldn't ever listen to me, and the only other thing I had was a Zubat with, like, no good moves, and Confusion never fucking, Supersonic and Confusion never ever worked. And so, and then that's the run. I've mentioned this before. How I hate Jupiter's Skuntank. And that's why, because guess what Jupiter's Skuntank has? Earthquake. Ground is super effective against poison. I could not beat Jupiter. I couldn't even try to fight the second gym because you need to beat Jupiter to do that. And, yeah. So, but I think nowadays it'd be a lot more doable. You could kind of transfer over a whole team. Or actually, word on the street is that transferring over eggs is the way to go because they don't count as traded that way because they hatch in your care. So they don't get they don't have that possibility of becoming too high of a level. And not listening to you anymore. What if Twiins plays getting over it game? I'm not opposed to it. The problem is, I'm pretty sure I'd have to purchase it. And I gotta be honest, guys, I'm not rolling in the money. I'm really trying to pinch pennies everywhere I can. So not in the cards currently. Nilash, thank you for participating. However, could you please do me a favor and stop just bringing up Critter? This is my stream. It's not hers. I'm a different person. Please stop exclusively trying to refer to me in relation to my sister. Thank you. But yeah, I don't have the money to go. I don't even think getting over it's all that expensive, but I'm not rolling in it. Here, let me Google getting over it. If it's like $5, then maybe. But if it's 15, then not in the cards currently. Game, getting over it. Getting over it. With Bennett Foddy. Did you guys know that he's the same guy who made, it's $7.99. Wow, really smack in the middle of my example bracket. Where 5 was doable and 15 was too much. It's $8. Alright, well, I'll think about it. I'll think about getting over it. Oh, something I'm thinking about doing today, is I've got a collection of dead flowers. Allison got me flowers, like, an eternity ago. And they're finally dead! Hooray! And so that means, so what I might do is trim their stems a little bit so that they're a little bit shorter, and then I can hang them up on my walls. Because I like dead flowers. Here's the problem. Fucking Mr. fucking Vincent. So, I've got some lilies. And the petals on those are pretty loosey-goosey. If we ever do get to move, I don't know if the lilies are gonna make it to the new location, because the petals fall off real easy. And a bonus fact, lilies are poisonous. So, especially for cats. And so I've moved them to a location where Vincent's not allowed. They're near my computer. So he can't get over there just in case one falls off. I don't want him trying to munch on that. But one fucking day, this little bozo, this dusty little buttlord, he like snuck behind my computer and was like sniffing around back there, and I'm like, leave! Please get out of the corner. So that was also, that was like a day where nothing was going right. Like, I think I was gonna get set up for stream on that day, but then like something wasn't happening, or something was bad. And then also Vincent was like, what if I just stick my fat ass amongst all the wires behind the computer where Mama keeps the dead lilies? And I'm like, I need you to not do this today. Twiins could draw something. I haven't thought that far out yet, but it'll be something funny. Oh, you know what'd be fun? Every year, I'm gonna talk about Hatsune Miku again. But every year, they have a Snow Miku competition, where you may have seen Snow Mikus. It's usually Miku dressed in a lot of, like, white or blue, and with, like, pretty hair, and that's a fan-designed thing. People can participate and submit their designs, and really fun stuff. I love seeing what the Snow Miku looks like every year. It's really cool, and I wouldn't participate in that, because I don't think I'm all that good. Also, I think the website's in, like, all Japanese anyway, so it'd be kind of a pain to, like, navigate, but that's fine. But I think designing, just for funsies, my own little Snow Miku could be pretty neato. So that could be another drawn stream idea right there, is just drawing Hatsune Miku and trying to make it snowy. I wonder what the theme is for this year. What if Twiins draws her own Doodle Bob? Doodle Twiins. Dude, that episode of SpongeBob is so good. I don't think Allison's seen it. I need to make her watch, like, a handful of SpongeBob episodes. Doodle Bob is one of them. Also, the one where SpongeBob goes to an art class and the teacher is Squidward. Oh my gosh, yes. So that one's so funny. And, Band Geeks, of course. The pizza one is also really good. Allison didn't grow up really watching, SpongeBob. Yeah, so she hasn't seen, she knows of it, of course. Yeah, I've referenced SpongeBob, you know, day in and day out around her. But, yeah, she hasn't really seen a ton of the episodes, so I think That would be grand. Robot. Oh my gosh, yeah, the robot episode. I think I've definitely said, "Ravioli, ravioli, give me the formuoli" at her. But I don't know if she really knows what that means. No, that's not right. I'm trying to see what the theme is for this year's Snow Miku. Everything's in Japanese, though. I can identify and like I can dude, I feel like such a giga brain. I was able to ascertain the hiragana in a manga, like one speech bubble, because I could read enough of the word aishite aishite, and I was, which is love me, and I was like, I know what's happening. Oh my gosh, I'm so powerful. I was frightened to try to learn hiragana, and I was like, no. Kanji seems to be where it's at. No. Idiot fool, that's what I am. Kanji is hard. Tall brain twins. Well, I guess I'll never know. I really tried to figure out what Snow Miku's theme is this year. No theme, I guess. But, I'll look into that. That sounds like fun. No work for Allison, time for a SpongeBob marathon for real. Another thing, this wouldn't be, like a stream, but I was watching Ray's highlights, for like one of the months. I realized I was behind on Ray, and so I was watching, and he and Tina played Portal 2 together, and I was like, I want to play that with Allison, even though I know it would deteriorate into me yelling. She has maybe talked about this obscure little show that didn't do, I think it was called SpongeBob? Thoughts on AI art? It's stealing and it's stupid. There is no good qualities to AI art. AI art is just stealing. And 99.9% of the time, it looks like shit too. So, currently, as it stands, it is worthless. It is worthless, and the most annoying part is the fact that fucking AI dude bros will hold up a picture of fucking big-tittied anime Elsa, and it's like, AI made this. This makes you artists, you're irrelevant. You're gonna lose your job because you're not needed anymore, and it's like, you can stop. Have you seen that AI anime on YouTube? I've watched Mother's Basement talk about it, and how stupid and bad it is. So, no. AI, Twiins sees AI art and murmurs, I'ma cut ya. Yeah, except I'm yelling it. Where are my frames going? I feel like this happens every time I talk about AI art. I'm like, AI art is stupid and bad, and it's like OBS is like, shh, shh, and like, starts cutting me out. Portal 1 and Portal 2. I'm so impressed, Clean Whiskey, that you spelt Portal with a B both times. B isn't even near P on the keyboard. Portal 1 and Portal 2 were so cool. I wish I played them when they came out. Yeah, I haven't played either of them. I've seen, like, I know what happens. I know the story, of course. Yo, oh my gosh. You know what's something I used to do? I used to listen to that song all the time. The one at the end of, I think it's called Still Alive, at the end of Portal 1. Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's so good. It's so good! The lady, fun fact, this is a double fact for you. The lady who voices GLaDOS is actually like an opera singer, I'm pretty sure. Like, she, she's a singer. It's why she's able to sing that so well. Bonus fact, she's also married to the guy who voices the sniper from Team Fortress 2. Isn't that neat? You know, I miss Team Fortress 2. I miss it a lot. Yeah, isn't that fun? Team Fortress 2 was really super fly. I loved the, I never played the game. I'm not into FPSs, but I loved the meet the teams, like, animations they did, and the one with the bread. This is a bucket. No. There's more. Dear God. Getting an update. Wow. Is that gonna be a real update, though? Or is it gonna be like... I'd like for them to make Team Fortress 2 2. It can't be Team Fortress 3. It needs to be Team Fortress 2 2. Apparently it's substantial. Well, what a sentence. Sounds like I said that sentence. Apparently it's substantial has the same vibes as, I'm frightened. I think Air Dude's got it right. Team Fortress 2 and then TOO. But yeah, I just loved the characters. Also, I've got a big sloppy crush on the sniper. I don't know why. But I do. I think it's his sunglasses. Will I do a Minecraft playthrough? I've played Minecraft a couple times. You can find all the VODs on my VOD channel, Twiins Plaays. Assuming I've done everything correctly. There should actually be a link to it now, finally. Available on my about page somewhere. That was me remembering the word about. I suck at buildings. Like, I can't build in Minecraft. Literally, and you guys have seen this. Every time I play Minecraft, it's just me running forward, and then I make a house out of wood, and it's a square. Always, yeah, the heavy. Heavy's 10 out of 10. Heavy's great. But yeah, I'd love to just get to see more of Team Fortress 2. Good lord, what's happened here? Are you guys good? Fuck. I'm watching my fucking numbers. It's like a roller coaster. Good gravy. What's happened? The weather's so nice today as well. That's the annoying part. is that the weather is crystal clear and delightful. I just watched my KBs per second, whatever that means, go from 6,000 to 11. I've never seen it do that before. Yeah, I'm glad. Okay, that was fucking bananas. I sure hope no one's like stealing my fucking personal info or something with that. Good gravy. Good gravy. Hang on. Alright, well, okay, everything seems fine. But shit, dude. KB is kilobyte, isn't it? Oh. Maybe. That's just, it's the thing I know. It's right next to FPS. It's CPU and then a percent. And 60 FPS, a little green box when it's good. It turns red when it's bad. Then kilobytes per second, and then a number. And when the red bad square is there, the kilobytes go down. And I've never seen it go below 1000. It hit 11. Fuck. Concerning shit right there. I also turn red when I'm bad. Fun fact, Queen Whiskey, I don't know if you have it set, but your name is always red in my chat. So that makes that joke extra funny. Oh yeah, the Team Fortress 2 comic is, yeah, I read a bunch of that. Is that still going? Did they ever finish? The thing is, the sniper just never was there. It was like the adventures of a lot of like Heavy and Soldier and Scout, and they're fun and cool and everything. My secret captain, I'm always bad. But yeah, I was just like, where's Sniper? I think it concluded. Well, alright, I wouldn't call it finished. Oh, big pain. That hurts. Yeah, I need water. Gotta make sure I stay hydrated. but the plot of the two brothers and the Australium was resolved. Well, great. I feel like there was another game that was, like, worth caring about happening somewhere in my life. Oh, it was probably just fucking Tears of the Kingdom. I see I need to finish it, yeah. Tears of the Kingdom. When was that happening again? It's soon. It's actually happening. It's May. I remember it's May. Because Allison was like, I needed, like, get things ready for May early. And I was like, really excited for Magical Girl May this year, aren't you? And she was like, yeah, but also Tears of the Kingdom. The $70 threshold has been crossed. Video games, there was a time video games were $70. They went up into 80. That was back in the Wild West when they didn't know what, like, how to really price games. Do you think Zelda would work with more voice acting? I mean, it's already voice acted. How do you add more voice acting to what it's got now? I think Breath of the Wild proves that Zelda, like, with voices, totally works, you know? I think it's fun. I lament not getting to name Link whatever you want, but in the long run, it doesn't really hurt. Personally, I wouldn't be upset if we did go back to the sort of, like, voice mumbles that we had previously, but also if we continue down the path of we're voice acted now, hey, not bad. I will also say, in the trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, when we hear Ganondorf, I was like, that's a fuckable voice. And then I learned it was Matthew Mercer, and I became upset. Because Mercer's swell, but I don't want to, like, I didn't want to, like, sexualize him like that. But, so, you know, voice acting's fun and cool. So, it doesn't hurt. To be fair, the games that are $70 are barely worth it anymore. I don't know, I don't think, you can't say all games that are $70, or well, 60, aren't worth it, and that only indie games are permanently better for all time, cause I think it just, of course, you gotta keep track of, like, what it is you're, like, playing. Like, I don't know, I would think spending $60 on any Call of Duty is a complete waste of my time and money. Because I hate Call of Duty. I don't want to play it. It's not fun to me. However, I spent $60 on Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet, and I've been delighted. That's one of my new favorite games, and I've savored every penny I spent on Pokemon. Same with Arceus Legends. Same with Rune Factory. I think Rune Factory was Rune Factory 50. But yeah, I got Rune Factory 5, the latest one. And that one's really great too. So I think it's just, I don't know, kind of just a matter of perspective, I suppose. Is that and yeah, okay, if they made Banjo-Kazooie, and it was $60, great, I'd happily spend $60. Hang on. Allison has texted me. I need to make sure it's... Okay, I'll handle that later. Okay. Think Bayonetta Origins is out now? Oh yeah, that's a cute looking game. That's one I'd like to get, but again, kind of penny pinching. So, not in the cards currently. So y'all better get excited for me to just play games I already own. Which means a whole lot more GameCube games. The next Zelda game just has Banjo-Kazooie dialogue. Link, like... as his voice grumbles. And then Zelda's like... It's Twiins we come to see. The streamer is the content, not the game. That's true. Howdy. Welcome. But I'd like to... I don't know. I don't think I'm all that interesting enough to just sit here and chat every time. I like having games for you guys to kind of watch me play. I think it results in some real funny shit. How do you think Link would last with Kazooie as a companion? I think it would be an unstoppable team. Imagine Link with Kazooie. He'd be able to fly wherever and whenever he wants. She offers projectiles. He can carry her like a gun. She's got so many abilities. And Link is already so capable by himself. She just means he doesn't have to waste time with like half of his normal items. And cause she can just do it instead. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think he'd do swell. That's an unstoppable force right there. Sequel to Twilight Princess? Feels a little unnecessary. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I like Midna. It'd be neat to see what's happening with her. But, yeah, I wouldn't say it feels like I'm dying for one, you know? I'd much rather have, and I've mentioned this before. So Tears of the Kingdom, that's exciting. I'm excited for Tears of the Kingdom, of course. But, I'm far more interested in getting, like, just a new Zelda game. Like a new Hyrule, a new Zelda, a new Link. And I think it doesn't help that, you know, since we've gotten to spend so much time in Breath of the Wild, like, because it's been, like, 7 years or something, I'm a little Breath of the Wilded out. And not to mention that also we had, like, the Hyrule Warriors game for it, and there's just been a lot of Breath of the Wild content, which is great. It's a 10 out of 10 game. But while I am excited for Tears of the Kingdom, a part of me does wish that we were just getting a new Zelda, you know, with a new world and everything. But, hopefully we just don't have to wait as long for the next one, because I can only hope that they had, you know, like Team A working on Tears of the Kingdom, and in the background Team B working on, you know, like a new game. Because, I mean, I think it usually takes quite a while for new Zelda games to come out. I think the problem is the last time we got a direct sequel like this was more like Drool Warriors. I got him. Last time we had a direct sequel, it was Majora's Mask, which came out the following year after Ocarina of Time. Like, it's because they reused a bunch of the assets and stuff, and I think it's because Eiji Aonuma or Miyamoto, one of them were like, make a game in a year. Do it. And they were like, okay. We'll do it. And everyone loves Majora's Mask. So, and I think that's the problem. Is while we do usually have to wait 7-ish kind of years for a new mainline Zelda, usually we're getting a new mainline Zelda. It helps that it looks like all the shots of Hyrule we've seen in the trailers have, like, they've looked like new locations. You know, we've all spent so much time in this Hyrule, that I'm not sitting here going, oh, I can tell where this is, kind of a thing. So, which is good. So, it really feels like we got a new kind of land to explore or something. Also, okay, I gotta say though, these trailers, they're like both great and a curse for Tears of the Kingdom. They're great because they're not spoiling anything, which is good. I want to play the game myself. I don't need the trailer to show me, like, you know, like all the fucking bosses or whatever. I want to experience it for myself. So, cool, thank you for not spoiling the game. 10 out of 10 idea. But that, on the flip side, is that, like, it feels like we're not seeing anything. I know that there's gonna be new stuff, but after the first trailer dropped, so they were like, it's happening, and we were all like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Every single trailer they've released since then has given us, like, no new real information. Watch the first trailer, and it's like, okay, we're in the sky, maybe. Link has a weird arm? Okay, cool. And watch this latest trailer, and what do we know? We're in the sky, maybe. Link has a weird arm, and new abilities for the Sheikah Slate? that's it. And I'm like, okay, please, I wish they had shown us one big thing. And that was the thing, when they had their last trailer. I was like, okay, this is gonna be it. They're gonna really, like, wow us with something big. Some, like, okay, here it is. Here's a big final, like, oh, this is the thing. This is it. And there wasn't anything, really. I guess Ganon's voice was exciting, but, for teasing so many teeny weeny trailers, that's the thing. We're all gonna buy it. They don't need to advertise Tears of the Kingdom. But I just wish that they had given us a tiny bit more of a thing to look forward to in it. But at least it's finally fucking coming out. What have you missed? Not a whole lot. Kinda just normal chit-chatting. Oh yeah, I killed a man. But he was already a ghost anyway. Everyone just roll with it. Excalibur will never know. I remember they were like, we're not even showing you the title for Tears of the Kingdom yet. This was back when we called it Breath of the Wild 2. Cause they're like, even that's a spoiler. And then they were like, here it is, the name of the game. And we were all like, and then it's like, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. And I was like, that's it? What's the what? Like, I expected to be like, The Legend of Zelda, Ganon is rehydrated, or, you know, Legend of Zelda, you play as Zelda. or, you know, something that really made it clear, like, a spoiler, like how they said it was gonna be, and then it's just Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. Queen Whiskey noticed him earlier. It's Doug. The Legend of Zelda. This time it's personal. But yeah, I'm excited. I am excited for Tears of the Kingdom to eventually happen. I'm excited for a lot of things. Oh, you know what's something that sounds fun? What do you mean? What do you mean, Excalibur? There's only one Doug. Don't you see him? Silly. You silly Willis. What was I gonna say? Oh, no, what do you know? No, you're crazy, Excalibur. What do you mean? Here, let me look out the window. Let me look out the window for you, okay? Here. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna peek out the window, okay? Just for you. Yeah, there's nothing there. Man, you crazy. You crazy, Excalibur. You know what's something that sounds fun? I wish, with all my heart, I want to make acrylic, like, keychains. They are so fun and cool, and this is the best stream bit we've ever, it's a good bit. I like acrylic keychains a whole lot. I think they're neato. And I wish I could make just a bunch of them. The problem is, yeah, they're really only financially, like, doable. If you know people will buy them. And I don't think anybody would want to buy any. Maybe like one, you know? So big bummer, big shame. Big shame shambaroo. But acrylic keychains are they're just so pretty. Yeah, getting better at drawing different poses, hell yeah! That's tough. That drawing poses is one of the biggest hurdles. The only reason I, like, kind of learned how to do that is because I was drawing a comic, and I was like, I need to have more angles. I need to draw people doing different things. I can't just have people stand, you know? So, it's good to kind of push yourself out of your art comfort zone, and make yourself kind of learn how to do new things. Because that's the only way you grow. You go until you're comfortable, then you have to step out of that comfort zone again. You have to be like, okay, I am comfortable with drawing hair like this. Okay, now let's draw it a different way. I'm comfortable drawing this body type. Okay, now draw a different one, you know? I'm comfortable, I am happy with my art when I draw people in these specific poses. Awesome, draw a new pose. It's the only way you can grow. If it's hard and it's frustrating, that's good. That means you're learning. And it's alright, it doesn't mean you're a failure if you don't get it down. It just means, you know, you gotta take a step back and reassess and try again. I'm over here expecting my boss to call me in for work because it happened 2 weeks already. Ew. Just say, like, you're sick. Just be like, nah. Just don't. I feel like I was gonna say something. Oh! Here's an opinion I've got about art. It's that, so, I've heard of the, kind of idea of drawing every day. Not breaking the chain. You know, just every day I make sure I draw something. So, you know, I don't, like, kind of lose my groove. And that's so viable. If that's, like, useful for you, if that's good, 10 out of 10. Great. Personally, I think taking breaks from art is one of the most important parts of art. Is not drawing. And I think of it, and no, this doesn't mean like, okay, put down your pencils right now and don't pick up that pencil again until a month later. No. If you want to draw, obviously. And I think this is true for all art. Whether it's music or working like with sculpture or whatever it is. Think about it kind of like weightlifting. You know, when you do a lot of heavy lifting and stuff and you work out your arms, they hurt. You know, because you're building that muscle, and so you have to rest. You have to. That's when you take leg day, because you lifted all those heavy weights with your arms, and okay, now it's leg day because your arms need to rest. That is an important part of building musculature, is resting. Because if you don't rest, then your arms aren't growing. You're just hurting yourself. Resting, that is the period where your muscles grow. They become stronger, they rebuild themselves to be bigger and better and stronger, and then you can lift more over time, obviously. And I think the same is true for art. You know, because so personally, I think drawing every single day, and this is just me, I feel like it's becoming a great way to draw the same all the time. To draw the same way, to not necessarily push yourself. Because, and again, this is all just personally. Personally, I think looking away from your art, taking time away from your art, is how you get to look at it with fresh new eyes. And it's how you get to kind of think, okay, what's a different way I want to draw? And of course, you can do that. You can be like, okay, today I'm just gonna draw something different. Yesterday I drew this, and today I want to draw in a totally different style, totally different whatever. So obviously it's not, you know, nothing in art works in absolutes, but I just do think that, you know, taking a break from art and then coming back to it is beneficial. It's a good way to kind of refresh your juices. Like, I'll never forget that fucking one time. So I was in college. I had a ceramics class. Throwing, you know, clay on a wheel, making shitty cups and stuff. And I did that, and I did well enough. The teacher liked me. And basically with art classes, as long as you try, you'll get an A. Nothing I made was amazing. You know, some of them were alright, but in general it was like, you know, it was clearly my first ceramics class. And then we had like a break, and then like a whole nother semester, and then like a year later I took another ceramics class. I took like the second level one, and somehow I was way better. I had not touched clay in all that time, but I stand by it that it was taking a break and then coming back and just kind of having built a level of artistry muscle. Perhaps it would have been nice if I came back, you know, in a slightly earlier than then, but I caught back on to ceramics really quickly, even though it had been like a year since I had done any throwing, and I felt more confident, and I could tell that my abilities had improved exponentially, even though I hadn't been practicing regularly. And so I guess that's to say is, if you haven't done an art in a while, oh man, it's been years since I played my instrument, or I haven't drawn anything in, you know, like, you know, months, or whatever it is. Don't just, you know, I'm not gonna say it's like riding a bike, you never forget, but rather just, you know, you're older, you're stronger, you're better, you're smarter, you're cooler, you're less stinky. And I'm sure you can get right back into it. And if it does take you a little bit of time to kind of catch back up to how you were, that's alright. Nothing wrong with that either, because as long as you're having fun, that's the most important part. I can't remember how I got on that train of thought. But choo-choo, train stopping, everyone get off. Everyone get off the thought train. Clay, God bless you, for real, for real. That teacher was hilarious. I only refer to him by his last name. I did that a lot. If, like, I had a teacher whose name was, like, I don't know, Barbara Walters. That's a random name. I would just call her Walters. And I did that for damn near all of my teachers. And he was the only one who really noticed, and so he only referred to me by my last name. And one time I was hanging out, I was, like, doing some clay shit, I don't know, and he walks in, and I was the only one in the room. I was, like, in the back. I think I was getting clay that had dried, and I was gonna, like, paint it, or whatever the fuck. And he walks in, and he's got a sandwich. And he's like, "Hey, Ink." And I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Want a sandwich?" And it was from Jimmy John's. And I was like, "Fuck yeah." And he's like, I'm like, "You don't want it?" And he's like, no, but they were giving out free samples, and you were the first person I saw, so here you go. So, he was pretty fly. So, here's my flaming hot tip. College is stupid and useless, because student loans will keep you in crippling debt for the rest of your life. However, if you're an art major, things are pretty okay. Like, listen, things were pretty stressful at points. I made a comic for my final. I made, like, a 12-page comic as my final project. And I did that while I was also working retail. And I had, like, essays for other classes to do as well. So, you know, things get up there in terms of stress levels, but in general, I was having fun because I got to do art. Oh my gosh, I also remember there was one time, Jimmy John's is not real. This is some trick America's playing on the rest of us. Jimmy John's is, I like their bread. The reason you get Jimmy John's is because bread. Also, fun fact, when we were playing through Amori, we often, Allison would be like, "Do you want to get Jimmy John's?" Something about Amori became just synonymous with Jimmy John's sandwiches for us. So we ate a lot of Jimmy John's. But then the delivery was, like, so expensive. It was because we realized for us to get 2 Jimmy John's sandwiches, it was the same price as us ordering 2 pizzas. And it's like, well, then get pizza, because then we have food for, like, multiple days, you know? But the bread is bumping. Can we see it? Can we see what? Like, my ceramics stuff? Nah. It's all just, like, bowls. It's nothing interesting. Oh, the comic! No. I was thinking about it. I was like, no, but it's one I'd like to get back to at some point, maybe, but, currently, no. I would want to, like, I don't know, retouch up on things. It's a fun idea, but currently, no. Not an option. But the real question is, Jimmy John's the son of Papa John's? I think that's an insult to Jimmy. Jimmy is too good to be related to Papa John's. Window Doug is back, Excalibur. You're crazy. You're so crazy. I can't wait to see the event that led to the... Oh my gosh, that whale gives me fucking war flashbacks. Here. Let me look out the window again. Yeah, there's nothing. You're just trying to rile me up, Excalibur. I was gonna say... Local news, editorializing. Popular YouTuber, Twiins Inc. attacks education industry, praises art major. What was I gonna say? It was something about my classes. Oh, one time in my sculpture class. So sculpture was basically, like, welding. There was a lot of welding in sculpture, which I wasn't in love with the idea, but I did learn how to weld, and so, you know, it is what it is. Welding did end up being pretty fun. I did accidentally give myself a burn, but it was like a sunburn. Like, you know how when you get a sunburn, you, like, your skin turns all red? I sunburned myself while welding, because, so you're supposed to cover up. You're supposed to wear a helmet to protect your eyes, and you're supposed to wear long sleeves and gloves to protect yourself while you're welding. And I did have all that, but, and I had a flannel on, and I had buttoned the flannel up all the way except for one button, because I was like, that's fine, that's normal, like, a totally normal thing. I was like, okay, great, cool, whatever, and I went and I welded, and I did my welding stuff, and then I was done, cool, whatever, and I got back to, like, my dorm, and... and there was a little red triangle on my chest. Cause where I had burnt, where the top button should have been buttoned up, like your clavicle, fucking like the bones, right at like the base of your neck. I was just a triangle of burnt, cause my helmet protected my neck. And then my flannel protected me all the way up to where they were buttoned. And then yeah, I had a little upside down Triforce. And I was like, oh shit. So, Twin sees the guy with a leather skin welding in a tank top and thought, yeah, I could do that. I was just like, who buttons up the top button? Nobody. Squares. But not like in a, I don't want to look dumb, but just in a, surely this is good enough. Like, I didn't even question that the flannel wasn't, like, I was like, alright, I'm all buttoned up, ready to rock and roll. Oh, but that's not my sculpture story. My sculpture story is fucking, this was so funny. So we were casting bronze. And that includes using, like, a big fucking kiln thing. Twins opposed to dressing modestly. I often wear tank tops. Oh, and I think that class was, like, at the edge of summer. It was hot. That was when I passed out. That was in my ceramics class. I walked all the way across campus with no water, and I got to the ceramics class, and I had no water, and we were in a hot room, because there was kilns nearby, and I realized I was dehydrating, and that I was about to pass out, and I couldn't go get water. There was a water fountain, but I couldn't go to it, because to walk to the water fountain, between me and the fountain, there were kilns that were on, and I knew if I passed out, I would hit them and burn myself. So I was just trying to breathe real heavy, trying to make sure I didn't pass out, and then I did in fact pass out from dehydration. This is why I tell you guys to drink your water. I was out for just a second. Like, I was leaned against a table as teacher is giving, like, an explanation on how to do a thing, and then I was on the floor, and a big girl was, what's a kiln? It's like a big oven that cooks the clay, so that the clay can be all ready and good for, like, painting and stuff. And they're hot. They're big metal things and they're hot. And yeah, I was standing, and then I was on the floor, but I was like, I had just fell, and then I was up again. Like, I wasn't, like, out cold. Clay oven, exactly, yeah. And a girl was, like, helping me up, and I'm so annoyed. So, clearly, when you're dehydrated, there's not enough water and oxygen going to your brain. That's why you pass out. and because I was still in like recovering from passing out mode, they were like, "Are you okay?" And I wanted to say I didn't lose consciousness. You know, like I passed out, but it's not like, it's not like my brain was suffocating or anything, you know. This wasn't like an emergency. but I was like, I couldn't think of those words. I couldn't think of the word consciousness. And so I just said, I didn't like go to sleep. And I think I made a face of like, clearly that wasn't the right word. But they got me a chair, and luckily since it was the ceramics class, there's a trillion cups, so they got me a glass of water. And then fun fact, I think I've said this part to you guys before, but we finished class, I stayed sitting and I sipped some water, and then class was over and I went to Starbucks and I got the tallest glass available, and I got water. I just got more water, iced water, and I felt terrible. And it didn't matter that I felt terrible. I still then walked to Target to get Critter a birthday gift. because our birthday was coming up, and I was like, I need to get her a gift. I wasn't coughing yeah. Never been. It smells great. It smells like delicious coffee. They have a lot of sweets in there too. It's usually kind of dim and loud, so I don't love being in Starbucks. But but Starbucks coffee can be real 10. But the thing is, in a lot of places the water is free, and at least on campus it was. So, or maybe I spent like fucking like 30 cents on water. So. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just give water. It's why I went there, because I knew I could get water for like no money. Because I didn't have a water bottle, but I wanted to be able to continually sip water because I had been dehydrated. What's your tip on world building / how do you world build? I kind of just come up with ideas. I know that's a pretty shitty answer. It's kind of like, just do it. I don't do a ton of world building, specifically. I'll say that. I don't make, like, grand fantasy worlds, with, like, dynamics and cultures and kingdoms or stuff like that. So I'm not the, I'm not the leading authority on world building. But I will say that I think it helps to have hard set rules and do not break them. Rules exist for a reason, and even though just do it. And even though it can be kind of tough to exist within those limited parameters, make rules and follow them consistently. That's my tip for world building. Also, don't feel like you have to be like Talkin. I think a lot of people do this, where they think, oh, I need, like, languages and unique cultures and races for all the different, for, like, all the different, like, you know, world, like, places. You don't feel like you have to do that. You don't need, like, a realistic, necessarily, like, thought-out history. Tolkien created a history for his books, and you don't have to do that. Don't feel like you need to go 100% in on world building. It can be light world building. So yeah, don't sit there and think you need to come up with unique languages for all your races or something like that. Right, I had a whole different sculpture story I was gonna tell. This one was so funny. So yeah, we were outside, and we were casting brass. And so it's a dangerous job. It was kind of stressful, but it was also a lot of fun. You have to, like, get in, like, a tinfoil fucking suit, like a baked potato. You have to get in, like, one of those, like, things, so, like, you're all protected. You are, like, really, because you can really, like, really hurt yourself, because we're dealing with molten metals, and and it was a lot of fun, and it's why I have my, I've got a brass heart. Or maybe it's bronze? I've got a bronze heart. And I keep that under my bed, because where else am I gonna put it? And that's what we were doing. But, so we were dealing with these molten metals, and everyone's like, we got, like, you know, a lot of rules that we're all following. We're all making sure we're being responsible and stuff and everything, and we're all doing our job and great. But as it is, something just kind of happened. No one made a mistake. It's just fire can be fickle and weird, and it was like, oh, it was in a dry season. Like there hadn't been a ton of rain. And something happened, and and we're hanging out, and like only a couple people could work on the kiln at a time because we were taking things out and putting things in and pouring the molten metals, and you know, and we kind of were cycling through the students. You know, teacher was always working, and the students would cycle through and be like, all right, it's my turn to open the thing or move the thing or do whatever. And the rest of us were just like on the side, kind of hanging around, watching, you know. And we're all hanging out, and then I look and I'm like, there's a fire. And the field, because we were outside, and the field so the kiln was like right next to a fence, and on the other side of the fence had like a tarp kind of over it. But it wasn't like the most sturdy of things, and we were right next to a field. And I'm like, it was just so ludicrous. And I was like, teacher, I was laughing too, because it was just so sudden. And I was just like, teacher! And he's like, what? And I'm like, there's a fire. And he turns and he's a short man. This man was built like a pit bull. He was shorter than me. He was built like a brick shit house. And he turns and there's a fire, and he goes, he like puts his arms out, kind of like caveman SpongeBob. And he goes, whoa! And then he had to go get like a fire extinguisher. And because I knew that it was small and that he would handle it, there was nothing to worry about. We were out in no man's land. Nothing of importance was like in danger because of the fire, and just because of all that, it was just the funniest thing. It was the funniest day of sculpture. Oh my gosh. Oh shit. So, that's my story about how I laughed over a fire. Oh shit, dude. Yeah, I had to take sculpture and ceramics classes. My emphasis was in painting, but you have to take other, like, art, like, do some other art classes, because that's how you waste your time and money, because otherwise they don't have enough stuff for you to do while you're at university. And so I wasn't excited about having to take ceramics and sculpture. But I did, and they ended up being hilarious, because I didn't care. And because I didn't care, that meant I was so much more willing to experiment and try and learn. And boy, it helps that my teachers were fucking hilarious. I feel like there was... Oh, that is another thing. Is that I part of my painting class, I had to take like an entry-level class, and I saved that for the end because I'm stupid. And we painted a lot of still lifes, and nobody was happy doing that. Everyone was like, this is so boring. I don't want to paint this boring still life. I want to paint something fun. And I want to, you know, paint something interesting. I want to paint something else, effectively. And I was like, dude, I'm right there with you. And the teacher was like, why am I having you guys paint still lives then, if none of you want to do this? And I'm like, because we don't care. And because we don't care, that it forces us to learn. So if I were just painting like people or something, I know how I already do that. I already know how to do that. So I wouldn't try. I wouldn't experiment. I wouldn't do something different. But because we were painting these boring ass still lives, It's like, alright, well then let's fuck around. You know, let's get creative. Let's take risks, because I already don't really care. And so if I take a risk and it's like, oh, well, that looks bad. Oh, well. I didn't really care anyway. And you're learning. So that's why I got it. Like, if you're taking art classes and you're like, I hate this. This is so boring. This is so dumb. I don't want to do this. Yeah. But it's important. Because you've got to. You've got to do all that boring stuff. Because that's the only situation where you are really willing to do something different and learn. Because otherwise you're used to drawing the same way over and over, and you're just gonna do the thing that you're used to forever and ever and ever. So yeah, that's how I learned how to paint with oil paints. I hate painting with oil paints. It's so messy and it's stinky, and you need to be in like a well-ventilated area. And it's just so fucking messy. But boy howdy, I am great at doing Bob Ross type paintings. I am 10 out of 10 at Bob Ross forests. What do you think about the new Dragon Ball Budokai game? Yeah, that's exciting enough. I've played a couple of the Budokai games. I played them with my cousins. They were fun enough. Back then, I didn't really know anybody in Dragon Ball. I think I played as Raditz because I liked his hair the best. Yeah, exciting. Everyone seems excited. It'd be cool if they let us kind of make our own character again. That'd be neato. But otherwise, I just hope they don't do, you know, Saiyan arc again. Namek arc again. You know, I hope we gotta do some new stuff. I also miss Raditz. Raditz is Superfly. Okay, good. My numbers were dropping, but they came back. Can't believe they added a guy named Radish. Did you, Queen Whiskey, do you actually know that Saiyans are named after vegetables? Like, that is the joke. His name is Radish. That's what Vegeta and his brother Tarble, they're vegetable. Kakarot is carrot. Gohan is just rice. Yeah, they're named after food. The Ginyu Force are named after dairy. Ginyu is just like milk. Like, that is just the word for milk. He is cool. Yeah, I want Raditz to come back and be cool, fun uncle. I was just being a shithead. No, you're right. And also the Bulma family, they're named after underwear. Trunks, Bulma, her name is their daughter's name is Bra. And Bulma is like Bloomers. Yeah, they've all got themes. Frieza and Cooler. Yep, because they're refrigerators. And yeah, Dr. Briefs. Yeah. So now you know. Who knew Dragon Ball was telling us to eat vegetables and wear clothes? For real. What was... Oh, Bardock. Bardock is another, like, root vegetable. Yeah. What's Launch? Lunch. She's lunch. I think the humans have a less structured rule for their broccoli. I've got them all. Got them all on lockdown. Dragon Ball is a comedy. I think people tend to forget that they yeah, Namekians are instruments. That's why you have Piccolo. He's not named after pickles. It's the instrument, Piccolo. And King Piccolo's children, aren't they like fucking like cymbals and shit? But yeah, they're more instruments. And I think it's really fun because it lets people kind of have a thing to work with when they make their like OCs. I'll never forget fucking Yeah, there's an instrument called a piccolo. Google it. It's like a woodwind thing. It's like a flute. James Willems from Funhouse. They were playing some Dragon Ball thing, and James is like a huge Dragon Ball fan. And he revealed his OC named Pinich, because it's spinach. And it's a 10 out of 10 name. He's like, yeah, my guy would be called Pinich. And it broke his heart to learn that one of the side games, Dragon Ball Fusions, already had a character named Pinich in it. And he was like, what? Unfortunately, we've only got the one Boo, but Boo's kind of race is attributed to, like, magical incantations, like Bibbidi and Bobbidi. Like, those are other members of, those are the people who like, made Boo or whatever. So, yeah, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. So, Allison, when playing Xenoverse, she named her, she played as a Boo, and I think she went with, like, Allison Zam. So yeah, now you know. I think it's really fun. Oh, I think that's it for today, though. I've regaled you with a bunch of silly little stories. What would my Dragon Ball OC be named? I had an idea for one with Twiins. Let me Google. Hang on. I'm Googling. Vegetables. Vegetables. Let's go. That start with T. Oh, I think I used turnip as like the vegetable. I'd be a Saiyan, just letting you know. So yeah, I think I'd be like Twinip. Working with turnips. Be a Namekian called, oh, I'm gonna say this wrong, djembe. It's an African drum. Hell yeah! So yeah, that's it. That's what we got. That's djembe. I see. I was close. I was pretty close. Well, that's kind of all I got for y'all today. Is just me talking about adventures at college, catching things on fire. Can't wait for a new Dragon Ball character named Up Dog, for real. Oh look, Doug's here. Hi, Doug. Where have you been this whole time? Just hanging around. Cool. Eggs plant for you? That's a pretty cool one. Yeah, that's all I got for you today. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Miku Day. Isn't that exciting? There are two of them. One of them's a substitute, though. Which one's the fake? Ho 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 ho. Doug and the human formerly known as Doug. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Fun seeing you. Fun chit-chatting. I'll see you tomorrow. And it'll be fun and cool. And I'll let you guys know if the people ever show up to measure my apartment. I'll tweet about it later today. It will either be they did not measure the apartment or they did measure the apartment. So yeah, adios. See you on the flip side. Drink your vegetables and eat your water.